And right now it's time to welcome in a friend of Robin Hood Radio, and well, most of the people that know Anne around here, Anne Makepeace, who is going to be participating in a special event which is coming up. Let's see, it's going to come up tomorrow, as a matter of fact. And what's so special about it is you're going to get a chance to see some of the incredible work that Anne does, but not only what she does, but how she has actually put together just a great film, Neighbors Helping Neighbors, and it is a very local film. Anne, good morning, and thanks for joining us this morning.
Morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, you know, you've got quite a background in doing different documentaries, and what's slightly different about this one is the local impact that it has, and not only impact about what it shows about neighbors helping neighbors, but it's right in here in our own backyard. First of all, what was the connection that you wanted to put this film together?
Well, I guess I'm a little burned out on the kinds of films I've been making for 30 years, which require me to run all over the countryside and write endless grant proposals and stuff, and I was really kind of ready to hunker down here. I have a writing project I was about to start, but then when Mary and Philip Oppenheimer came to me with this idea, doing something about our first responders, and this was way before the pandemic. It was, I think, at the end of 2018. I thought, yes, I'd really like something to do something, for the community, in the community. And as I worked on the film, as I began to meet these incredible people who are so selflessly put their lives at risk and, get up at all hours to come to our aid, I just became, just so impressed, in love, honored. I guess I felt really honored to be able to tell the story of what they do. And of course, we finished shooting on March 6th, so all the footage is pre-pandemic. It just looks like a whole other world, and people can actually touch each other without, suiting up. But so we finished editing in the summer, and we had our premiere outdoors, drive-in style, at the Sharon Playhouse with some of the participants in the film joining me for the Q&A. But so why did I did it? It fell into my lap at a time when I was really ready not to do a big feature documentary, to do something more local, and to dig my roots deeper into the community.
I think what a film like this does, it reinforces. I just know that in my time here, I am a pretty vocal person. I'm pretty political, and I remember a couple of times where Salisbury ambulance had to take me to the hospital, and they're your friends and neighbors, whether they're Republicans, Democrats, Independents, Libertarians. All that goes out the window, and they come out, men, women, day or night, and do what they have to do, and they're all volunteers. And the time I had to go to one of the times, I was about 340 pounds, and I had to be put, and it happened to be an all-woman crew that showed up, and they just handled it magnificently. It's amazing when you look at what they do and how they do it. And I don't know if you caught any of this, Anne, but when you were filming and talking to them, the thing that always amazes me about our ambulance crews that are all volunteer and the first responders is that probably 70% of the time when they go to something, they know a person or the family of who they have to transport. That and to be able to do that on a day in, day out basis is, to me, is simply amazing.
Yeah, there's a really nice note that Caroline Birchfield wrote to me after seeing the film at Sharon Playhouse. And Carolyn is a local person, works at Noble Horizons. I think she's communications director. But at any rate, her note was, I just wanted to tell you that when my son was in second grade and had a very bad sledding accident, the people who came were his math teacher, his all his neighbors. He knew every one of the EMTs who came to save him, and she said that gave him so much comfort. And I've heard that story over and over. You know, you're in the worst day of your life. You're in a car crash, or your house is burning, or whatever, and you look up, and there is someone that you recognize. Maybe you don't know them well, maybe you just see them around town, or maybe they're a good friend. But when you see somebody you know coming to your aid, it just, I think, makes all the difference.
Oh, it does. It takes all the pressure off. I mean, there's, of the unknown. I mean, that's one of the great things about it. We're speaking right now on Robin Hood Radio with Anne Makepeace, Neighbors Helping Neighbors, a special event November 19th at 7 p.m., which you can join via Zoom. It's co-sponsored by the Events Committee of the Salisbury Association, Hotchkiss Library, and Noble Horizons. And I guess at this event, when people, and by the way, if you want to register to go to this event, you can go to our on-demand page, look for the interview, which will be right at the top of the list that we're having right now. And at the very bottom of it, I have a register here link, but you can register on the web for this. It's absolutely free. And on top of seeing the film, you're also going to get to speak to people, right?
Yes, I'll be, the Q&A will consist of me, Jackie Rice, who's the captain of the Salisbury Volunteer Ambulance, sorry, can't remember what the last S stands for, but Salisbury Ambulance crew, and we don't know exactly who it's going to be, but a member of the Lakeville Host Company, and we will be happy to answer questions. And it's all through Zoom, so there'll be an introduction probably by Lawrence at the library and Mary Oppenheimer, and then we'll actually show the film via Zoom. So you go full screen, and then we'll come back for the Q&A. So I'm looking forward to seeing many people in their little rectangles on Zoom tomorrow night. It's a great opportunity.
I think it is, and so now you worked along with Mary Oppenheimer. She's the executive producer in putting this together, right?
Yes, it was her idea. Yeah. She and I knew each other from various community things, and I guess several of the Lakeville Host Company members also work for her, landscaping and things like that. And so she got to know what they do and what the training is, and she also saw this real need, especially to bring young people in, because both these organizations are aging out now. You know, the average age, I think, in the Lakeville Host Company is 50. And new recruits, new volunteers are desperately needed. So she wanted a film that would show people what they do, how satisfying it is, and that there are all kinds of ways you can volunteer. You don't have to climb ladders and jump down chimneys and stuff. You can be a deaf person, or you can. So she, and also she wanted something to be that could be used for fundraising for any and all volunteer fire and EMT departments. And so she came to me, and I was actually kind of, wanting to embark on writing a novel. I wasn't really looking for a film, but I eventually saw that this would be a really wonderful thing to do for the community and for myself, because as I said earlier, I got to know people that I wouldn't ordinarily get to know, and in a way that made me so grateful to them and deeply appreciative. So for me, someone who, as a filmmaker, has spent probably a third of my life not here, even though this is home, this time I could be here, I could dig my roots in, and I could get to know these wonderful, altruistic, generous, fun, smart people. And one thing that stood out so much for me, too, is how much training, what dedication it takes just to get, trained to be able to do what they do. So a lot of the film shows that, all the different kinds of training, water training, firefighting training, EMT training, car crash training. So even though it's a short film, it does show quite a lot.
We're speaking with Anne Makepeace once again. Neighbors Helping Neighbors, a film will be shown via Zoom November 19th at 7 p.m. It's co-sponsored by the Events Committee of the Salisbury Association, Hotchkiss Library, and Noble Horizons. This interview will be posted roughly by about 7:40 this morning. It'll be up on our Facebook page and also at robinhoodradio.com on demand. There's a link on that on this page where you can click to register to go. And just one more comment about this. By you doing this with the Salisbury by the Salisbury Ambulance Squad, what's great about this is now reflective on Sharon with the Sharon Ambulance Squad in Cornwall, in North Canaan, in Falls Village. It's a snapshot into the Salisbury Squad, but it shows the volunteers we have all throughout our area. And in some areas, because it's so tough, and you mentioned this about getting younger members, they have to mix in some professional crews with volunteers. And it's very important for, I think, people to see this film in every town and understand that you've got to begin building for the future and recruiting more and more people to do this volunteering. And I think this movie will highlight that, and I think make the job a lot easier.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And yeah, we did include some of the people in the film from Sharon, Falls Village, North Canaan, even New Hartford, and yes, but it's meant to be, it's meant to show the richness that these volunteers experience, the richness in their lives, and show what they do, what levels of commitment they have to make in order to sign on in those volunteer positions. And I think it shows just how much we owe them, and also it should look like, not always, but the trainings are kind of fun. You get to do these things without any risk. And so, the kids who are involved, and I should mention that, juniors can join as young as 14. And there are a couple of scenes where we see juniors, specifically two 18-year-olds from Sharon, learning. And the 18-year-olds have been doing it for a few years as juniors and are about to graduate and be full-fledged firefighters. So anyway, I hope lots of people will watch the film. I hope young people will watch the film. I hope everybody who could support these organizations in whatever town you live in will watch, and that it will inspire them to become involved in one way or another.
And again, thank you very much. This is going to be November 19th, tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Thank you very much, Anne, and get back to writing that book now.
Thank you. It's free and open to everyone, just to make sure you all know.
Yeah, just
zoom in.
All right.
Thank you, Marshall. I really appreciate your making this happen so late in the game.
All right. Thank you, Anne. Take care.
Bye.
The first responders are truly absolutely amazing people wherever you are, and this is your chance to get a glimpse here locally with this movie.